네, 안녕하세요. 김정우 기자입니다. NFT라는 개념이 등장한 지도 1년. NFT 투자 시장은 이제 할 사람은 다 할 만큼 아주 커졌는데요. 하지만 실생활에서 사용할 수 없는 디지털 증서에 불과한 NFT에 도대체 왜 열광하는지, 가격 버블이 너무 심하다 하는 지적도 여전합니다. 이런 지적에 대해 영국 블록체인 기업 보손프로토콜은 디지털 세상의 NFT를 23개로도 끌어올 수 있도록 지원하겠다고 나섰는데요. 오늘 저희는 저스틴 베넌, 보손프로토콜 대표를 만나서 인터뷰를 진행해 보려고 합니다. 간단한 자기소개 먼저 해주시면 될 것 같아요. 네.
Hi, my name is Justin Bannon and I'm the co-founder of Boson Protocol. So Boson Protocol is the universal settlement layer for commerce built on Web3 technologies, which is basically public infrastructure for enabling the exchange of physical items for digital value, and uses a combination of NFTs and game theories to enable this without the use of intermediaries. You want me to talk a bit more about my background? Is that, or?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
Okay. My background is I started out, I did a physics degree. I then ended up working for a company called Priority Pass, which was a loyalty company, and did a digital transformation of Priority Pass, growing them from 50 million to $1 billion digital voucher platform. During that time, I did 2 masters, one in digital innovation and then one in blockchain. And then I came up with the idea, or discovered this quite fundamental problem in blockchain, which is that there was no way to enable a commerce transaction for like a real world asset without the need for an intermediary.
NFT가 23개 나와서 실물 자산을 이제 갖게 되는 거잖아요. 네. 그 과정이 좀 궁금해가지고, 왜냐하면 그 과정에서 만약에 이 보선 포털 내에 개인 정보가 들어가야 되는 그 과정이 있다면, 이거 블록체인의 좀 뭐 탈중앙성이나 아니면 그런 익명성이 좀 훼손이 될 수 있는 부분이니까 그런 부분이 좀 궁금하다.
It's not necessary when using Boson Protocol for the buyer or the seller to disclose their identities. It's optional, and obviously, if I need to deliver a car to you, then I need a physical address to deliver it. But that doesn't need to be the buyer's home address, and the buyer doesn't need to disclose any personal information. And in fact, we're launching version 2 of the protocol in the summer, and what we've done is create the option, because there's a trade-off between just efficiency and ease of communication and full decentralization. But in both of those options, under V2, the buyer doesn't have the ability to disclose, but the seller has the option of disclosing, for example, an email address. And so the protocol will either work using sort of decentralized and anonymous communication methods, or there's an option for the seller to disclose, for example, an email address. But the other reason why, particularly under V2 of the protocol, the buyer cannot disclose his or her identity is because this redeemable voucher can be resold from buyer to buyer to buyer. So if the first buyer were to put these details in, they might be obsolete. But yeah. Now, with some of the first implementations, for example, Boson Portal, etc., some aspects of those applications have sort of been kind of MVPs and taken shortcuts to, as initial applications, and for certain purposes may optionally ask for those details, etc. But they're all being designed out for version 2, which the basis of it is a fully decentralized commercial exchange protocol.
근데 이제 제가 또 이제 궁금한 그 다음 질문인데, 이게 NFT를 교환할 때 이제 이더리움 가스비가 엄청 많이 비용 부담이 크잖아요. 그래서 이걸 실물 자산을 교환할 때 굳이 이 위에서 NFT로 교환하는 방식으로 다시 한번 중간 과정을 거쳐가지고 해야 될 필요가 있는지, 그것도 약간 의문이 들긴 하거든요. 그래가지고, 한번 그런 부분에 대해서도 여쭤보고 싶었어요. 네.
So yeah, I mean, Ethereum gas costs are, so high as to make general use cases practically unusable. V1 of the protocol, the current version, is on Ethereum, and the temporary way that we've been handling that has been airdropping users boson tokens to compensate for their gas fees. Yeah. And so selling high value unique items and then airdropping for the gas fees. But that's not sustainable. So under V2, we will be moving to Polygon, excuse me, where we've got much better gas fee economics and great integration with the sort of metaverse, etc. Obviously, there's been lots of hot debate internally about that decision, particularly as our protocol designer is designing Ethereum 2 as well. But we have to have a practical solution for now. I mean, the downsides of Polygon are the fact that, it's not as decentralized as we would like, but it's clearly the right solution for now. There are lots of other solutions that are rising. Obviously, one day maybe Ethereum, maybe not, but other very exciting solutions like Optimism and these sort of ZK sort of base solutions. So the future of Boson protocol is going to be multi-chain anyway. And there are many different assets represented on many different chains, and we will be plugging into lots of different metaverses, lots of different chains, but our immediate plans are to launch on Polygon, which will solve those transaction cost problems.
디센트럴랜드가 그러면 여러 가지 이제 보손프로토콜 같은 서비스를 하는 기업이 많을 텐데 보손프로토콜을 파트너로 선정한 이유가
Decentraland is run by a DAO and has a very, very strong decentralized ethos, and so they've been very supportive of us from day one, because there's a growing group of people that are trying to create a metaverse that is open and fair, rather than enabling large corporates to build a metaverse where, can you imagine living in a virtual world for a significant portion of your time, and that virtual world is owned by Facebook and everything you do is taxed? That is more like a digital prison. So there is a group of us trying to create an open, fair, metaverse, and Decentraland a part of that group. And so the ethos of Boson Protocol is creating this public infrastructure to connect the metaverse to the real world, enabling this trade without intermediaries. So our values are very much aligned, and we've worked together to plug Boson Protocol into Decentraland to make it easy for users and Decentraland landowners to buy and sell physical items in the metaverse, using fully decentralized technologies and without the rent-seeking intermediaries.
많은 분들이 참여를 해주셨다고 했는데, 사실 이제 이게 국내에서는 NFT가 무엇인지에 대해서는 정말 많이 알고 있지만, 투자나 실제로 구매하거나 이제 실물 자산으로 받기까지는 실제로 생각하는 분들은 정말 적을 것 같거든요. 그래가지고 이런 분위기가 있는데 해외 분위기는 좀 다른 것 같다고 생각이 드는데 이거 어떤지 한번 여쭤보려고 합니다.
Yeah, on the question of what is the value of an NFT, if the NFT is a piece of art, then the question is, what is the value of a piece of art? And obviously, you know, in Western art, as you move from more classical to more modern abstract, when Picasso first started painting his kind of very abstract pictures, there were a lot of people that said, this isn't art, this is no value, this is just scribblings, this is valueless. But 100 years later, I don't think any of us would, if you got offered a Picasso painting, you would refuse it and say this has no value, I don't want it, right? So the value is what society, you know, and the market ascribes to the value of these things. So that's the first thing. But so, you know, in the West, there has been an NFT craze. I mean, it's a huge boom, and I think I probably agree with Bubble that will be rationalized in terms of, you know, this NFT, you know, art-based NFTs. So, you know, that's been the experience in the West, and that's for art. But as I mentioned, I think what's happening is that NFTs are maturing beyond being just, you know, art to functional, what we call NFTs with superpowers. So, for example, with one of the applications that, you know, the centralized company is building, Nifty Key, what you're having is NFTs that are going to give you the ability to unlock, you know, access to special products, give you access to experiences in the real world, give you the ability to visit a nightclub in the metaverse that's, you know, very exclusive, and it means you can go and watch a performance or a top DJ, and so there are lots more properties of NFTs that can be programmed that will create this value. And if you could imagine an NFT that could get you into all of these top fashion shows, that could get you into all, you know, so, you know, when you just look at the value of NFTs as, you know, whether you agree with NFT art, I think it's quite one-dimensional. So I'm sure over time, as, you know, Korea becomes more exposed to some of these new NFTs with superpowers, that, you know, the value that NFTs hold beyond art, I'm pretty sure will be recognized within Korea.
그러면 이제 마지막 질문으로
네.
보손 프로토콜의 최종 목표를 또 듣고 이제 인터뷰를 마치면 될 것 같아요. 네.
Boson was created to fix a commerce system that was broken by design, right? The whole system of having these Amazon, Alibaba, eBay, all of these big giants controlling all the transactions, getting bigger and bigger and bigger, extracting more and more money from commerce. That was designed. And, you know, what it means is we have a future where we all end up working for Amazon and Alibaba in some way. We're paying out, you know, we're being taxed by them. And so Boson was built to have a future where instead of having 3 or 4 trillionaires, you could have thousands of millionaires opening commerce stores and doing commerce on a fair, open platform that mediated transactions. And so that, you know, from day one was our vision and remains our vision. We want to see a world, you know, where commerce is fair and open, and everyone has a fair chance to share in the value they create. Hi, my name is Justin Bannon. I'm the co-founder of Boson-Protocol. My background is I started out doing a physics degree. I started working for a company called Priority Pass, which I grew, which is a loyalty company, which I grew from about 50 million to about $1 billion revenue by basically digitizing what they did and creating digital vouchers for real world items. I did a couple of masters whilst working there, firstly in digital innovation, and then secondly, I did another master's in blockchain. And when I was doing that master's, I thought, okay, what happens if we turn these digital vouchers into blockchain vouchers? But there was this kind of fundamental challenge in order to be able to do that, this problem of how to enable the commercial exchange between a buyer and a seller without a centralized intermediary. And that challenge was the one that we set about solving with Boson Protocol. And so 3 years later, here we are.
Okay, thank you. 괜찮으세요?
That was better because I've had a chance to wake up and had a bit of coffee, so that was
It's actually a good time to
Thank you
redo the
so
game.
much for the interview
Thank you.
early morning.